In this video, I'm going to give you 5 strategies to make the most of your performance review. Hey, Dr. Angelique Adams here with leadership tips for PhD scientists and engineers. Performance reviews, aren't you so excited? Of course not. Look, they're stressful for everyone involved, and unfortunately, they're not all that effective. One of the main purposes of performance reviews is to give you, as the employee, actionable feedback that will help guide your future behavior and your career growth. Yet, according to Gallup, a global advice and analytics firm for leaders, only 14% of employees say that performance reviews inspire them to improve in their jobs. I have had the full range of performance reviews. On the one hand, I've had the boss who just took 5 minutes to say, "Angelique, you're doing great, just keep doing what you're doing," and give me a huge bonus. And while that felt wonderful at the time, it wasn't really helpful. There was no actionable advice there to help me improve and get to the next level. And on the other hand, I've had these traumatic performance reviews, like the time when my boss said, "Angelique, you've clearly hit all of your performance metrics, but I just want to tell you that I'm going to be the one to present all of your work to the leadership because I'm more attractive." That was absolutely devastating, and again, not useful at all because there was no actionable feedback that I could use. So let's talk about what you need to do to ensure that you actually get what you need out of this performance review. At the end, I will give you the most important question that you need to ask during your performance review to guarantee that you walk away with useful feedback that you can use to guide your career development. The first 2 strategies happen year-round. Number 1, make sure that you understand how your work fits into the broader context of the organization. Be very clear on how your goals and objectives help the organization drive results. Also understand how any changes that have happened in the organization or in the business context may have impacted your ability to execute your work. This overall understanding will be very important when you come to the performance review day and you can talk about how your work fits in. The second thing you need to be doing year-round is to be seeking regular feedback from the stakeholders that you work with. That will help you bring your performance review information into context. It will also help you to share feedback that you've gotten from others during the meeting. And so you've been making adjustments all year long, and you also have some data that you can bring into the conversation. On the actual day of the performance review, make sure that you've taken care of yourself physically. Make sure that you've got adequate rest, you're hydrated, you've eaten, and you've done any relaxation techniques that work for you. That way you're cool, calm, and collected. Number 4, bring a summary of your accomplishments. Now, most organizations have some sort of form that you filled out, a detailed form, and your supervisor may or may not read that in detail. It's much better for you if you actually bring a summary in your own words of how you've met or exceeded your objectives, where you may have had some challenges, and any major accomplishments that may not actually be included in the list of objectives, but things that you want to highlight. Number 5, focus on the future. This performance review discussion is about what you did in the past. You can't change that. All you can change is what you do in the future. If you've gotten negative feedback, don't dwell on it. Just think about what you want to do differently and move forward. Similarly, if you've gotten positive feedback, don't become complacent. Don't forget that your next role is going to require different behavior. So still focus on your development. As promised, here's the most important question to ask during your performance review. Can you give me an example of the behavior you're referring to? You can ask this question multiple times. You can ask it when you are getting positive feedback to make sure that you're clear on exactly what you're doing and what you need to be doing more of. You can ask it when you're getting negative feedback so you can get clarity on what you need to be doing less of. You can also ask it in reference to other people. So if your supervisor can help you understand behaviors that are well received and who's actually doing them, so you can kind of watch and learn, and also behaviors that are not well received, again, so you can observe and avoid those negative behaviors. The other thing about this question is if your supervisor can't give you an example, then that is vague feedback and it's not very helpful. And I encourage you to put it on the shelf for now and try to collect more data. But with examples, you can turn those into actions. And that's how you ensure that you walk out of that performance review with something that you can turn into a plan. What's the most useful feedback that you've gotten in a performance review? Let me know in the comments.